Hi, and welcome to Prep Rally. This is the Week 9 edition. Ricky, Week 9. We got 2 more weeks of the regular season to go, and then it's the real season, the playoff season.
I haven't lined up all the days, how long a season takes. Seems like, to me, football zips faster than any of them. I guess because there's so much anticipation after the summer and then doing all that stuff. You're ready for football. Man, but Week 9, it seems like we just out there getting our preview story, the skeeters and gnats and the guys in shorts and sweating and everything. And here we are. It's fall. Got 2 games to go in the regular season. Let's rock and roll.
2 weeks to go. I was just talking to Josh Jones, the coach over at Lamar, about that today.
Yep.
It just seemed like, you're right, it seemed like I was just out there just a couple weeks ago. I'd driven down to Lamar, made my River Valley trip, went to Lamar, Johnson County, West Side, Alma, and made my way back Clarksville. And it just seemed like it was, a day or 2 ago. And here they are, Week 9. Lamar, and Lamar's getting ready to host a big game this Friday night. But before we get to that, let's start in Class 7A. Rick,
all right.
We're going to start in 7A, where Bentonville is going to be at Springdale High this week. Now, Springdale, I covered their game last week at Fayetteville. I think it looked like a MASH unit on the sideline over there. They had Garrett Vaughn, the running back. He's in a walking boot.
Oh, man.
They had Juwan Boyd over there, their defensive back, ice pack on his shoulder. Grant Allen, their quarterback, went down in the second quarter, had to cart him on the cart to the locker room at halftime. So it looked like the MASH 4077 unit over there at Fayetteville last week.
Is Zach Clark, is he okay?
I think he might have had a hangnail or something, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it was.
Man, I hate to hear that.
I hate that for Springdale because they were rolling along and looking pretty good, and now they're Grant Allen. They've lost him for the season to a season-ending leg injury, so he's done. Vaughn, he talked to Zach today. He said that he is sort of a game-time decision, but he's getting better. It's a calf injury. He's getting better. He's able to run, but he can't cut at full speed yet. But he could play this week, but he didn't sound real hopeful he was going to play. Boyd has a first-degree shoulder separation. Some players can play through that. It depends.
I couldn't.
We'll wait and see. So those are, that's 3 big key members, of Springdale's team that are either out for the season or, definitely game time decision.
But I get it. At least they're still. Have they qualified Springdale for the playoffs
Well,
yet?
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay, well, at least that's something.
The big thing that they're hoping for is a home playoff game. They have not had a home playoff game at Gerald Williams Bulldog Stadium since 2006, since the split.
Oh.
So that's their big thing they're playing for. Now, they played at Fayetteville last week, and that was the big thing was, the winner of that was probably going to get the 3 seed. Mm-hmm. Well, Springdale lost 48-14, but it doesn't sink their hopes. It just means that they're probably going to be that 4 seed, which they'd still get a home playoff game. Yeah. But right now, even that's not guaranteed. There's no question they are limping to the finish line.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get healthy, and maybe if it's not this week, they'll be ready to go for Week 10 and then going into the playoffs. Having Garrett Vaughn, it's going to hurt them losing Grant Allen. I mean, that's a huge loss, and that's 2,000 and some odd yards passing out of the way. Not to mention, a good quarterback. But having Vaughn at least gives them that running game that they need. That takes the pressure off of Will Mueller, who's going to be the quarterback now that Allen's out, so that takes the pressure off him because you got a good running back, that can be he can take it to the house at any time. Yeah. So I don't know if they'll play this week or not, but Zach was pretty confident that they would be back, for the final regular season game. So that'll be good. Now moving on, Bentonville. Bentonville's won 5 in a row. They are the Bentonville, they like what was it? The coach of the Vikings, I can't remember his name who said
Dennis Green.
He said they are who
we thought they are. He was talking about the Bears, my team. We should have beat them. They are who we thought they are. Well, they weren't that good.
Exactly. Well, Bentonville's who we thought they are. They played a tough non-conference schedule. They learned a lot in that. Went 0-3 since conference play. They're 5-0. They are. Obviously shooting for that number 1 spot in that first round bye in the playoffs, and they're right on track to get that, and they're right on track for that big showdown in Week 10 against Bentonville West.
But you need to win this game though, because that takes some of the glamour and spotlight off that game. But think about Bentonville. They start off 0-3, and we're talking about playoff seedings and going on the road, staying at home. But isn't still number 1 to win a conference?
It is.
Isn't that the still number 1 goal? You want to have a winning season, and you want to. I mean, that just says something to me. I don't care what conference you're in. but you want to win a conference championship. And they've done it before at the outset of the season. So, wow, Bentonville, they're not going to win again. But slowly but surely, here we go. August, September, and October, what comes out? November, exactly. And they're right there. And I guess it's maybe, you know what, you can't call this trap game because Springdale's too good. But they need a real focus on it. They don't need to know about, oh, Grant Allen's not in the game. That guy's only a sophomore. So they got to maintain their focus to set up that big game next week. Not look ahead.
So, Rick, who you got, Bentonville and Springdale?
Bentonville.
So, moving down, Rick, let's go over to Harbor. Springdale Harbor won a big game last week.
Yeah.
I think you and I thought Van Buren had a shot in this game. Well, guess what? They did not.
They did not.
Harbor came ready to play. They used us as motivation. That's good. You use that as motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it was significant in the fact that it was Harbor's 100th win as a program. And, of course, Chris Wood's the only coach they've ever had. Like the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, they used to say Tom Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had. That's not the case for a long time, but that's what they used to say. So Chris Wood, the only coach Harbor's ever had, got their 100th win as a program. That's significant in the fact they did it in 12 years. So that's, doing the math there, that's almost, an average of, that's a lot of wins a year. I can't do the math that quick, but I'm going to go to 10. But.
Are you old enough to remember Hee Haw?
I am.
All we need right here, because I'm a big boy, you used to be big, you're not. We need Lulu right here so we could do from Corn County salute
to Harbor.
Yeah,
yes.
From Cornfield County, Hee Haw, Arkansas, wherever it was, salute.
Yeah, absolutely.
To Chris Wood, good coach.
Harbor, big win for them. Now, Harbor is also still in this mix for that number 3 seed in the playoffs. They're not out of that possibility yet for a 3 or a 4. Though they'd have to have Springdale lose both this week and next week because Springdale beat them 43-42. But Harbor's right there in that mix, so good for them. Big win last week against Van Buren. They go on the road this week to Rogers High. Rick, how do you see that game?
Well, let me say this about Harbor. And, yes, I picked Van Buren because didn't Harbor just get whipped the previous week? They got shut out, and Van Buren was slowly coming on. I mean, Harbor's been kind of like that to me.
Kind of like my blood pressure.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're sitting next to me, right? Doing this. But anyway, I'm going to jump back on the Harbor bandwagon. Harbor, yes.
Woo! Here we go.
All right.
Before we get to the big game of the week, Rick, let's talk about Elkins.
Yes.
Elkins, I think they just scored another touchdown at Elkins.
Oh, my goodness.
78 points on the board last week against Pottsville. 50 of that in the second half.
When I heard that score, I said, we're getting basketball games coming in. Some little school up there near Omaha, Arkansas that's already played 78 points. What? I talked to Coach Brian Hudson, and I was asking him, I said, man, are you guys going to be able to come back? I talked to him before that game from the loss. Where'd they lose at? They went to Mena, lost
scored 40 in that loss.
49-45, had a couple of turnovers. And, that long bus ride back, and you're kind of demoralized. But you know what? You got to shake that off. How are you going to come out and play the next game? He said they had 2 turnovers on first 2 possessions. Here we go again. But then, boom, the Elk came out there. They went out there. Yes. I don't know any Elk sound, do you?
I don't either.
But anyhow, they just got rolled 78-33 or something. And coach said, man, we had to keep scoring because they were scoring. So there was a good rebound for them. Now they go back on the road again against Dardanelle.
It's going to be a tough one, Rick. No question about it. Will be a tough one.
Not only that game, but you're going to find out a lot about the Elks because they got Dardanelle and then they got Ozark.
Yes, that's 2 back-to-back tough games.
Back-to-back.
Regular season, no question about that.
So good luck. You know what? I'm going to go Dardanelle on that one, though.
Sand Lizards are going to get this one?
Yes, the Lizards.
Do you think Elkins can score 40 in this one again?
Yep, but Dardanelle may score 42.
42.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the game of the week.
Yes.
That is Booneville.
Yes.
3A, the 3A1 conference. Booneville, number 1 ranked in the state in Class 3A, going down and talking about a little bus ride. They got a little bus ride this week too. They're going into Lamar, going to take on the Warriors, who are also 8-0 and undefeated in conference play. Now, Lamar won a close game last week against Mansfield. Mm-hmm. Mansfield is not Booneville, okay?
No.
They are not. Now, something I didn't know until I talked to Coach Jones today, that he is a graduate of Booneville. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
He is a Booneville graduate. Not only that, but Scott Hyatt was his position coach in high school.
What? I didn't know that
I
either.
didn't know that either. So that passing to see how much knowledge you get in this show. We're just throwing out that knowledge everywhere. So, Boonville lost their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
10 seconds into the season,
basically.
Has not skipped a beat. It was next man up. They have not skipped a beat, Rick. They have been rolling like Boonville rolls, ground game, just chewing people up and grinding you down. But Lamar's a pretty good team.
You know what? At the beginning of the season, when Boonville came down and said, well, Boonville was going to be there, who's going to challenge them? Charleston? No. Magazine? No, they've fallen off. But Lamar? But you know what? I should have known because Coach Jones, he was successful over at Magazine. Didn't they win the state championship?
Won the state championship? 14-0, yes.
And I know they've had, I talked to them a couple years ago when I went down there, and they was like 6-5 or something. But they had some young kids. You could see them coming around, and that is going to be a fantastic game. Everybody knows about Boonville. If you're at Lamar, you got to come out for this game. That's a little community just off the interstate there. I wouldn't mind being down there for that game. That's a long way down there, but that's going to be a great game down there. But Boonville's the
they're the real deal.
Favorite.
They're the real deal.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about Lamar, Rick, you're right. Now, Lamar was 5-6 last year.
Okay.
You know, nothing to write home about. 5-6, but they had 8 starters each way coming back this year. They ended the season last year winning their last 3 regular season games in a row. So they started coming together last year toward the end of the season. So that's why Coach Jones was real optimistic about them going into this season, and he's proven to be right. Now, Rick, neither one of these teams throw the ball much at all.
Well, how much it's been raining and everything? I mean, so what?
And
I mean, you can win
like rain.
that.
I think tomorrow.
Again? Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
You know what? The ground and pound physical. Who's going to win the line of scrimmage right there? I like that old school throwback football. So
who you got in this one, Rick?
You got to go Boonville.
Purple rain.
Yeah, I don't know, 35-21, something like that.
Okay, could be. Could be. Well, Lamar I found interesting they're doing their stats. They've got 6 guys on that team that have rushed for at least 100 yards. So they kind of spread out a little bit. They don't have anybody.
Now, what Boonville got, like 12?
Their whole team. Even Coach Hyatt, I think, has carried the ball a little bit. He's got 100 yards. So typical Boonville.
Yeah.
This game should go pretty quickly. It'll be a lot of running. It won't be a lot of passing. You know, those coaches over there think that, 3 things happen when you pass a football and 2 of them bad.
Yep.
So they keep it on the ground where it's a little bit more control. So you got Boonville in this one.
Yeah, that's the easy pick to me.
So some good games this week as we ride right into Week 10 next week. Got some big games. Of course, Bentonville and West is going to be the big one. That's going to be the big marquee matchup next week. Rick's thinking they're both going to be undefeated going into that one. So in conference play,
yeah.
So we think that'll be big. Last year, it was a ring around the stadium 2.5 hours before game time. It was a packed house.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that again. I don't think they'll get that big a crowd this time, Rick. What do you think?
The
challenge is on you, West and Boonville, to bring it next week.
Yeah, bring it.
See what you got.
Yep.
Bring it. Both of you guys bring it. Let's see what you got next week. I want to see the student sections. They've been dull all year long. They don't ever do anything. They're real boring. This is a challenge. Well, if you got it, bring it.
Yeah, bring it. Do something different.
We want to see it.
Don't be dull and old like us.
Absolutely. So that's it for this week. We appreciate it. Don't forget you can catch this show on the What's Up Ozark app. That's the app that's a mobile app. You can get that wherever. It's a free app. Also, don't forget, be sure to take a look at the great photos as part of this show that their photographers for the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette get every week. Volleyball, football, it's everything in there. It's all the sports are covered. If it's something that we like my friend JT Wamper says, if he goes to it and pushes that button, we have that on this show. So take a look at that. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time on Prep Rally.